Some travelers from Washington, D.C. to Rockford this weekend. The Laurent House Foundation hosts officials from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs for a celebration of the 75th anniversary of the organization's specially adapted housing program. This grant program helps to fund the construction of the Laurent House for World War II disabled veteran Kenneth Laurent and his wife Phyllis, designed by famed architect Frank Lloyd Wright in 1949. The house is Wright's only example of universal design and is today a public house museum.
Since that time, 50,000 American veterans have used this program and the ideas that Frank Lloyd Wright put into this house to live independently in their own homes. And this is a home that sort of embodies what the U.S. government can do to help service members when they come back, to help them live the life as best they can.